morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.
Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris. We begin today with a brief look at the weather. The weather today is partly cloudy with a high of 86 degrees and a low of 70. There will also be a slight chance of showers today, so make sure that you have those umbrellas handy just in case. All right, we're moving on to the latest in local news. A better flow of work to tour operators on the horizon, and this from 1FM. Tour operators on St. Kitts may soon become more comfortable in applying their trade at Port Zante Cruise Port following discussions held with tourism officials. The meeting was attended by the presidents and executives of the taxi associations, cooperative, as well as 5 dispatchers. The chair of the meeting was the new product development officer in St. Kitts Tourism Authority, Golda Franks. During 1FM's Voices program on Friday, January 28th, Sylvester Socrates Hodge said he was present at the meeting and shared the details of the discussion. The discussion was centered around dispatching protocols that would facilitate a better flow of work to taxi operators at the dispatching points. Some fare adjustments were discussed, but will have to be sanctioned by the Tourism Authority before being made public, end quote. So that is some interesting news coming from the Tourism Authority by way of ensuring, of course, the taxi operators will be better off in the future. So good to know. We're moving on to the second local story. The next news item is from the Nevis Island Administration by way of a press release. The Nevis Island Administration is now on the verge of being able to offer PCR testing on the island. Countries across the globe are presently using PCR testing to diagnose people infected with SARS-CoV-2 virus, the virus that causes COVID-19. Honorable Premier Mark Brantley, Senior Minister of Health in the Nevis Island Administration, gave an update on the process on Thursday, January 25th, during his first monthly press conference for 2022. The last update that I've had is that we now have done everything. We are set up. The testing has been done. The training has been done, and apparently they have to go through a process of doing some sampling. That has been done, and those have been sent off to PAHO, the Pan American Health Organization. We're simply now waiting on PAHO, and we expect any minute now to get the go-ahead to do the PCR testing at the Alexandra Hospital. We expect that when that happens, it will be a quantum leap forward for the island, said the minister. Interesting news there. And in other local news, being in air-conditioned rooms requires the use of masks and periodic ventilation to mitigate against COVID-19 transmission. This from SKNIS. The medical chief of staff at the Joseph Nathaniel France General Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, said that it is necessary when being in air-conditioned rooms to wear masks and allow periodic ventilation to mitigate against COVID-19 transmission. The risk of COVID-19 spread is greater if you are in an enclosed setting that is poorly ventilated, he said. If you are in an open space, the risk is less, and the reason why it is greater in an enclosed setting that is poorly ventilated is that if you are speaking, especially without a mask, you can have the aerosol that are released and they can stay suspended for quite some time, said Dr. Wilkinson. Most air-conditioned units are designed to cool the air and not necessarily recycle the air and bring in fresh air, and so most of the wall units that they have tend to cool the air. If you are going to be in an enclosed setting for a long time with a wall unit, it is good to open the door every hour or two when you open the door to let fresh air in, he said. So this brings us to the end of the latest in local news on this lovely Monday morning here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a flash. Stay tuned.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing with the latest in regional news. And in regional news, region urged to brace for La Nina patterns during the next 3 months. This from the Caribbean Media Corporation. The Barbados-based Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum, CARICOF, says a persistent La Nina pattern is expected to continue during the core dry season, which should drive increasing dry spells across the northwest section of the region. In its latest outlook, the agency said that for the period February to April, the La Nina pattern will continue to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, the ABC Islands, and Belize, where seasonal rainfall is expected to be usual or drier. La Nina refers to a cold event, and during a La Nina year, winter temperatures are warmer than average in the south and cooler than normal in the north. A higher frequency of wet days and wet spells are forecast for the Eastern Caribbean, where rainfall is expected to be at least as wet as or wetter than the usual, which should taper the chances of wildfire and promote water reservoir capacity, CARICOF said. It said extreme wet spells for the region are not expected to feature prominently during the upcoming season. It said the end of 2021 stood out in terms of a quiet cessation to the hurricane season, along with dry seasonal rainfall anomalies for much of the Eastern Caribbean. And in international news, this from Al Jazeera, Kenya beefs up security after warnings of possible attacks. Police in Kenya say they have beefed up security after several European countries warned of the risk of possible attacks and urged their nationals to avoid public places. Heavily armed officers were seen on Friday patrolling the streets of the capital, Nairobi. Security was boosted outside key government offices, five-star hotels, private buildings, and shopping centers. The National Police Service said in a statement, it, quote, assures the public that security in the country has been scaled up through different policing operations. We urge the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities, the statement said. The French embassy on Thursday issued a message to its nationals warning of the danger of an attack in Nairobi in the coming days. It said on its website there was a real risk of places frequented by foreigners, such as restaurants, hotels, shopping centers, being targeted. Therefore, people in Kenya are advised to be extremely vigilant and avoid these public places in the coming days, including the weekend, it said. The German embassy in Nairobi issued a similar warning, while the Dutch mission said it had been informed by the French of the possible threat and that it considered the information, quote, credible. That's all we have for the latest right now. Stay tuned, everyone. More Good Morning SKN in a moment.
Next, please.
Good morning, Mommy. How are we today?
We are okay. I brought in Bobby to get her first HPV vaccine to secure her from this cancer-causing menace. I'm just trying to make sure my girls have a chance at enjoying life, you know?
You look unsure about something. Are you okay?
I'm a little nervous. My boyfriend found a lump here the other day, and now I'm freaking out.
I understand how you feel, but let's take care of Bobby first. First, let me explain about this vaccine, the HPV vaccine. The HPV vaccine protects both boys and girls. This vaccine can prevent most cases of cervical cancer and some cases of sexually transmitted infections. Mommy, that's it for Bobby. Can we talk privately for a few minutes? It's really good that you told me about your boyfriend finding the lump. I'm glad that you weren't too scared. Mommy, when was the last checkup? I mean, which includes your breast examination and the pap smear.
Honestly, I don't know anything about pap smears. Is that something you do during childbirth? Because if that's the case, I would have done it twice, right?
A pap smear is an examination of your vagina and pelvis area. It should be done for females between the ages 18 to 69 at least once a year. The World Health Organization recommends that the doctor or nurse that is doing the examination remove the cells from the cervix and check for any abnormal cells, cancer, and the human papillomavirus, which causes cervical cancer. If females get regular tests, anything unusual or abnormal can be treated and seen in its early stages. The girls are being vaccinated before age 13 to reduce the risk of getting cervical cancer. Women tested early and girls vaccinated can help us end cervical cancer. Don't be afraid. It's a simple examination which will be over very soon. Come on, let's get tested.
Has anyone ever touched you here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. The Sandy Point Benevolent Society is a nonprofit corporation whose mission is to strengthen the Sandy Point community via support for educational institutions and positive youth activities. The Sandy Point Benevolent Society, SPBS, has impacted the lives of countless persons from across the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since its conception some 20 years ago. On Thursday, September 2nd, 2021, SPBS held a donation drive at the Fig Tree Basketball Court in Sandy Point, where several school children received back-to-school items. A nonprofit organization registered in New York with local chapters in St. Kitts and Anguilla, it is funded by the generosity of well-wishers in St. Kitts and Nevis and the diaspora and undertakes annual fundraising activities. Today, we have the honor of welcoming Dr. Stuart Williams, president and founder of the organization. Having attended and taught at what was then the Sandy Point High School, now the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Dr. Williams migrated and earned several degrees that culminated with a PhD in physical chemistry from the University of Washington in Seattle. Having climbed the ladder of his career as a physical analytical scientist, Dr. Williams is now global segment leader for coatings additives. Welcome, Dr. Williams. It's so good to have you on Good Morning SKN.
And thank you so much, Jamie. Thanks for the organization. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, I see that you are obviously boasting that T-shirt of yours. Let our viewers see what that is.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is an SPBS T-shirt, something we put together, I'm going to say maybe 3-4 years ago, as one of our attempts to promote the organization, but also to raise funds.
All right. Well, you founded the organization in 1997, and it officially became a nonprofit corporation in 2007. Tell us what the inspiration was behind the launch of the organization.
Well, it truly was about giving back. I mean, today I use the word legacy. You know, you say, what's your legacy? But when we got it started, we were a bunch of, let's say, friends, a bunch of Sandy Pointers meeting and asking questions about how we can step up and contribute and really make a difference. And the idea was the seven of us said, let's get together. And we started with an educational focus. We started with really wanting to support initiatives at the high school. We started with a certain affiliation for the then principal, Mr. Vincent Hodge, who we believe, we heard, was really making a difference. So the focus was, let's focus on education, let's focus on science. So we started by giving a gift to the science department and also a gift to the incoming primary school freshmen to the high school. That's where it started. And it's gone in many different directions since then, but we could talk through some of that a little bit later. I would say right now, one of the things I would like to mention is we quickly graduated from focusing on a student entering from the primary school to students entering from all three feeder schools. So we now give a principal award to freshmen entering from not only Sandy Point High School, but also Newton Ground High School and the St. Paul's Primary School. I said Newton Ground Primary School and St. Paul's Primary School.
Yes, I am made aware that in 2012, indeed, the SPBS began offering scholarships to 3 valedictorians from the feeder schools. What do these scholarships involve, Doctor?
Well, they involve a cash award, and also we coined the phrase the Principal's Award. We also gave the gift to the high school as a Principal Award, an annual gift. And we started with something as simple as a full body skeleton, quickly got to a water bath, and got to printers and many other things that we've donated. One of the things I'm proud of is we went beyond, certainly beyond the science department, the amplification system at the school, we donated that. We got a communication system installed, intercom that we sponsored 100%. We got a steel orchestra. So we've allowed ourselves to graduate based on level of contributions, but certainly with a focus on growth. We want to do more, and more means let's go beyond the primary school. Let's go beyond the scholarships. Let's start to think about gifts that can resonate and have some good sustainability and help students, not just one class, but be there. The intercom is not going away. Steel orchestra is not going away, and students can really participate, and we could begin to help the community as we go forward.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll get to some of those initiatives a little later in this interview. In 2013, the Society introduced an annual scholarship to a past student from the Charles E. Mills Secondary School studying anywhere in the world. What can you tell us about how this is supported and what the qualification process is, Dr. Williams?
Yeah, so initial scholarship was completely driven by our membership and, again, our ability to fundraise. And so what we've done and what we've seen is as we continue to demonstrate that we can sort of dream the big dreams, but also deliver and execute, that we've had sponsors step forward and say, I like what you're doing, let's do more. So we started with an undergraduate scholarship. We moved quickly to the Sir Hugh Wallins scholarship, which supports graduate students. And we've had others like Dr. Hannah Gishard, who stepped in and give now to the Ridley Gishard scholarships. We've had others, so we've extended into Virchiles. And I could tell you after the last November's event, we now have close to 4 additional scholarships. So Nevis, here we come. We're going to now offer a scholarship in Nevis and additional scholarships in St. Kitts as well. So we've started with recognizing students from Charles E. Mills High School, 1 scholarship. We now have 6 college scholarships, and we're expecting more as we head into 2021. So our patrons are putting us to work. But I think the recipe for us is do a little, get a lot, right? So I said do a little, but we really are stretching ourselves and doing a bit. But by executing, patrons, fellow Kititians and Divisions are stepping up and really encouraging us with their pocketbooks to do more. And so that's the burden of success. And we take it on with a smile on our faces, right? So we look forward to continuing to grow our scholarship efforts as much as we look forward to growing our community efforts as well.
Absolutely. Listening to you speak about this, I can definitely say that you are, as an organization, living up to your name in terms of benevolence. We'll take a very brief break, Doctor, and we will be back to continue this interview in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
Thank you.
In a production that received rave reviews, the SPBS, as the organization is called for short, turned to the virtual world to raise funds to support its ongoing work in St. Kitts and Nevis.
I became involved after becoming the valedictorian of the Newton Ground Primary School. After gaining the Principal's Award, I became a mentee for 5 years, and then after 5 years, I became a mentor.
To say they have assisted me financially would be an understatement. They took me under their wings and they funded my entire CFBC schooling, as well as they were the first ones who gave me a scholarship to start my UA program for undergraduate studies.
Where I am and who I am today is largely due in part to SPBS and their fellow associates.
It takes a village. I'm so proud of the SPBS family for having the vision and the will to deliver on this program.
The Sandy Point Benevolence Society reminds potential donors that they can still donate to its work via its online platform, www.spbsinc.org.
We look forward for your continuous contribution throughout the year as we live up to our motto. Help us to give back so we can help others to move forward.
I endorse
the Sandy Point Benevolent Society.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. During the break, we looked at a promo that was produced by the SPBS. It showed a young man that was mentored and has now become a mentor himself. I'm speaking with Dr. Williams about the organization. And Dr. Williams, my next question concerns mentorship. What can you tell us about the mentorship program and how it's benefited the community?
Wow. I think whenever I return to St. Kitts, I go to the mentorship and mentees and also the mentors, right? And when I talk externally about the group, that is the program that moves people, because it really speaks to having people who benefited from the program go back and participate and really not take for granted that, hey, we've given a principal award, but what if we could really nurture those principal award winners and advance that support through their high school careers, through their Fitzroy Bryant College sort of experience, and do it in such a way that those folks are empowered to come back and serve. And so we have many examples of that, and we do have Desiree Gums to give a lot of thanks to. We really, you know, as we continue to give and ask questions as we're overseas, we wanted to get a ground game going. And so we talked before about, you mentioned having a chapter in St. Kitts, but it's beyond getting a chapter, right? And really finding a way to nurture the students, to support them all the way through their educational careers. And that's one of the most powerful things we actually have in place. I could tell you when we had this event last November and we saw the young men and women, their stature, their presence, how they talked about the initiative, it was truly heartwarming. And it is one of the again, like I said, the most inspiring and long-lasting piece that we do, service that we offer. I must give a lot of kudos to Desiree, who spearheads it. And you know, it goes again beyond the classroom. Sometimes when she speaks to her engagement with the parents of the students, how much the parents even go to her to talk about their kids and how they're doing. It's beyond my expectation. It truly is one of the activities that beats my expectation. And I saw the end product, right? You see what the students are able to speak to deliver to commit to in terms of their community awareness and commitment to education. So it's very powerful.
Thank you for sharing that. Indeed, it does seem very powerful. And to me, it speaks to the legacy of your organization as well, because you were making impacts across generations. So that's definitely very good. I want to switch gears just a little bit to speak with you about some of the fundraising activities that the organization hosts throughout the year. What can you tell us about these activities?
Yeah, what really excites the membership and puts us to work is in the US, are the activities, right? In the US, we're sort of grounded by two activities. We have an Easter breakfast, and we have a awards banquet around Labor Day, Saturday evening. And what's special is how people roll out at Easter. I think we all are tired and weary of being indoors from the winter, and we're able to get our patrons, fellow citizens, et cetera, to really come out in drones and enjoy a Caribbean feast at a breakfast. And it's always well attended. We built in some entertainment into that, and it's just beautiful to see how the community steps up and comes together. At Labor Day, you know, we were told, hey, people want to get dressed up. It's not just about playing mass. And so in 2011, the team stepped up and put on its first awards banquet. So it's a really great showcase event where we are able to identify the theme, the best of the best in terms of our ability to focus and give awards to well-deserving folks from the diaspora. And it's well organized. I think it's truly, again, a spectacle, and it really helps to brand the organization. But more importantly, I think the joy for us is really getting people together, because, you know, I always go back to my initial sort of drive, right, or mantra, or what have you, which is it takes a village. And that's where we're able to demonstrate what this village is accomplish, but more importantly, push the borders back, right? Expand the village, really encourage other patrons to get involved, to give. But those are the two big events in New York. What I encourage chapters to do is find their signature events, right? So in St. Kitts, the St. Kitts chapter does an annual Dine with Dads event. And again, that is their signature event it's around Father's Day. And as the umbrella group gets moving, we're going to do the same thing. What is that signature event that gets the populace together to really celebrate and participate?
In terms of membership, Dr. Williams, if someone is listening and they say, well, you know, this sounds like a really good organization, how can I be a part, whether as a member or as a donor? What would you say?
Oh, wow. It's, you could go to our website, right? The easiest thing, www.spbsinc.org. If you know, or, any of the individuals, certainly reach out. We do have a monthly general body meeting. You could step in and begin to, it's open, and begin to hear what's on the agenda, what's driving us for the next few months. But we also have, if you go to that website, you will see a donate button. So you can donate. And we also want to encourage you to donate in an area that best meets your needs, right? So is it scholarships? Is it some other activity that's ongoing that you want to donate to? We have a way of making sure those funds are isolated for your cause. So yeah, www.spbsinc.org. You could reach me by email or phone, and we can get you sorted as far as memberships, and beyond memberships, really a way to participate and bring your talents forward.
Doctor, it has been truly a pleasure talking to you and learning all about the work of the Sandy Point Benevolent Society. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us about this important organization. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
All right. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327. No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. And for this segment, I have not only the pleasure of welcoming our next guest, but also welcoming my co-host.
Jamie, it's been one of those Mondays. It's just been one of those Mondays. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with all of you. So let's jump right into our next guest. So on the 28th of January, 1935, estate workers at the Buckles, frustrated by their employers' refusal to address their low wages and bad working conditions, put down their tools and walked off the estate. The workers were confronted by the estate owner, a Mr. Dubridge from England, who asked them to return to work at the Buckles estate. The workers stood their ground in spite of the mounting pressure. The Nyabingi Theocracy Order holds an annual event commemorating this monumental occasion in Caribbean history. Ras Aya, PRO of this organization, is here with us to teach us more about the significance of what is known as the Buckles Uprising. Good morning, Ras Aya.
Pleasant morning to I'll say Studio Chi
7. Yes.
I'm glad to be here in the presence of engaging in this informational aspect to our people as the 1935 Buckles Uprising. I would like to say it's very tremendous to see that we as a people have been very lackadaisical when it comes to this event, because we have seen that our people are not really gravitate that momentous occasion that have been able to spark a way that where people could stand for equality and justice.
So we'll talk about the actual Buckles Revolution. We're made to understand now, as history tells it, the workers were upset, or the spark that encouraged them to riot was because of the low wages and the poor working conditions. Can you tell us more about that?
Considering to the information that is vital to our people as we state to say, in the 1935, there was a condition that was really facing our people for the wages that was employed as a shilling, as we could say today in this 21st century, we calculate it as money now to this day, it will be like $4, $8 as a weekly wages, and knowing in them stage as a shilling, it was not really that much, but it was something that to keep our people as a way how to survive and how to sustain themselves. So when we watch at the condition that we have to be facing in those days was very horrible, and to say, to spark as like to see the witches that was benefiting to the people who are the planter class, we find that there wasn't giving us much treatment that needed to be as an equal people as part of the working class. And we will find that the working class people was very mistreated, even though they were still the working force to engage in economic struggle to pursue for the country of England and the others. So that was one of the things that we find, the information that in 1935 they were facing these, our ancestors during those days. It wasn't easy, but we say they had to make a stand, and it wasn't that easy with this stand that they take, but they had to do it because it was something that they see was significant in the time.
All right, I'm curious now, I'm sure our viewers are as well, as to whether there are any specifics that you can give us about, or even a general overview of what happened on January 28, 1935.
It's very touching to say a general overview, because me and you went to school together, Jim. Me and you went to school together, so.
And we were there.
We wasn't there, but the information that we require to in research is very touching to see as how we know it now, that at the times of as I stated earlier in 1935, the conditions wasn't that easy to face up within our plight as a people. We have to look at how even back in them days you're facing your livelihood was on a whole, where you can see that your home itself wasn't like how we in this studio itself, right to this day. It was like shack house. So finding them kind of ways of living wasn't easy going through them days, and you have to go still into the field to work in a hot, burning sun. So the condition was not very easy facing, but we know we had to stand up, pursue, and consider how we can move on for the next generation. So in those days, 1935, the information that we gravitate and hold now to see, I don't mean, I would say like, it's very shaming to see that we didn't even know about it in school, and we are going. When I get to know about this information, when I out of school, chewing up the Nyabingiti Akosiada, and I have to give much thanks to the Nyabingiti Akosiada for withholding in this time to see that things like this here don't get unhold or get lost, because events like these need to be well documented, be considered to the generation so they can be able to understand what was they facing in 1935 and coming up forward. Because we could go forward and say like adult suffrage, where we see basically the information that the adult suffrage come into farm is because of the Mayan Commission. A lot of people don't really understand why in 1935 what's really sparked this Mayan Commission to really give an overview of how the condition our people facing during 1935 coming on, after even to as they call it, the abolition of slavery in 1834. That's why they signed the proclamation, but we still wasn't that free, because after a time of that stage is coming up, after 1834, we find people are still being used as slave condition, even though we say we were free, because they bring into the farm apprenticeship, but we still even wasn't owning that kind of status quo like how the planter class was owning.
Understood. And what was the resolution, like after they revolted and decided that they were no longer going back on the estates to work under those conditions? What were the changes made after they took their stand?
But the effective change now come at the same time in the stand, but time to time after the consultation of from like the founders of the Workers' League, I used to say Thomas Manchester and Mr. Edgar Challengers and others who were instrumental in seeing that they'd make a stand for the working class people. Because Mr. Challenger and Mr. Thomas Manchester, those are two prominent people who were part of the working class people, family background. They had family who had lands was contained within the working aspect of the planter class. And to find that these two men here take an initiative step to support our ancestors. But in the concept of the movements of our ancestors is that we were the one who really facing the heavy of the shame. So we had to really pursue in seeing that things take time to change. That's why you see now we have political parties coming to farm, come years after. Because at the early years, there was a ban against the union, because that's why they established it as the Workers' League, because at the early years in 1935, you couldn't have the union representation. You see, so you're facing a workforce without any supporting rights in your workforce.
So that was obviously one of the effects locally of the Bucklers
considering to how the plight start coming to farm of seeing that unionites get representation there. Where you had the Benevolent League that was established by the late so-called Sebastian father, Matthew Sebastian. He was one of the prominent figure within agitating for workers' rights. He still had to be cautious still how he preside his farm act, because as I tell you earlier, there was no establishment in the union rights. So you still have to know how to preside your discussion towards these people.
And what about any effects for the rest of the Caribbean from this?
Repeat your question.
The Caribbean. So we talked about the effects of the uprising locally. Were there any far-reaching effects elsewhere?
Good question, man. Well, I would say in the aspect of the effects go forward out to the other regions of the Caribbean shores, it was very highlighting to see that other countries, when they heard about the plight in 1935, they start taking initial steps to engage in how to proceed and mobilize themselves as seeing what was taken in 1935. And to see as Barbados and other countries and Chile and all those here, even Belize, who's not a part of the Caribbean, sure, but are part of the Southern American region, those are areas that make the insight about the 1935. So seeing this happen during those days, these countries really take a turn to say, well, if a small island of this magnitude could open up them eyes, who is them as a bigger country can make a plead. So we say these countries take an initial level off of what was taken in 1935, and thank for ancestors, they know that in 1935 it was a horrific tragedy taking place in 1935, because when you watch at how our people were facing during those days, imagine you have to go to work on an empty stomach, right? An empty stomach, you know, and you're working from sunrise to sunset. And sometimes the condition you're working on, you cannot even use that kind of condition to say you're living in a great way of work. But when you see how our people really play to see that they cannot go under that condition too long, they say, well, we had enough. We have to take a stand. We move the jail to discuss with them, ask them for a better wage, deny the wages. So if you deny the wages, we deny the work. That's why we say we press on those tools and use those tools as play to rally our cause in 1935.
It gives me a sense of pride to know that the revolution here in St. Kitts triggered the revolution across the Caribbean. Exactly, as you said.
In America too.
Exactly, and St. Kitts is such a small place. I think it's really important here. So last week, the Nile-Bingi Theocracy Order held its annual event to commemorate the Buckley's uprising. What things happened? What was can you describe the event for us?
Yes, it's a step that we are able to take in as a churchical group, because we are a churchical group. We find it that is our basic initiative to see that as a churchical group, we honor our ancestors, the people who sacrificed for us, because without them, we cannot be here at this point in time. How we are here now discussing, and we find during these commemoration celebration, we are able to bring people into the way of being a part of this discussion, so we could see how we can be able to foster the information basics to the youths and to our people who have been not able to understand what the Buckley's uprising mean. And we find in 2022, as we mark the 87th anniversary, we had a celebration to highlight with our people, seeing that we reminisce on the way of our ancestors, the sacrifice that they made. We see that we're able to consider how we are as a people can bring it to tuition to even start making the educational aspect of it realize to the youths them in the school. So we are on that drive, but what we have done in this time now is to bring people now who really consider themselves to be realizing what need to be aligned as a part of the national heroes, being established as a public holiday, and to really see the farm act where we can see some form of museum established, but it ain't happening at this point in time. But these are some joy that been able to be passed over the years in commemoration that we are able to see, looking to coming to tuition, hopefully in the near future. I hope not late, but soon.
And I wish we had more time to talk. You have no idea, because this is all very informative. I really wish that we did. Unfortunately, we don't. So we might have to follow up with you later to get even more information. But I do want to thank you for making the facts of this uprising very real to us and our viewers as well. Thank you so much for shedding light on it. And this is a very important point in our history. We will continue with Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
I'm here St. Kitts, Nevis. You don't know if I must represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah, 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 yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me know in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you.
I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Sugar Mass 50 ended a few weeks ago, and we aptly covered this on Good Morning SKN. It was quite an eventful time. We experienced the sweet sounds of the steel pan music. We got to play mass after having withdrawal symptoms in 2020. We also witnessed the sheer elegance of the National Carnival Queen Ambassadors. Everyone was raving about the production and the quality of this past carnival. Kudos to the Carnival Committee. Our next guests are the founders of Bold Carnival, Robertine Webb and Chavanice Lake, who played a major role in producing the Soca Monarch competition. Their involvement included management and coordination, conceptualization, directing, producing, choreography, styling, and so much more. And we'll get to that right now, actually. So let's dive in and talk to you all about Bold Carnival. Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Awesome to have you here. Awesome to talk about Carnival, of course. So let's talk about Bold Carnival. What got you inspired to begin Bold Carnival?
Back in 2019, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know, Robertine is the founder of Bold Force.
So Bold Force is a nonprofit organization that hosts children-related camps. And so in 2019, for our summer camp, we hosted a recital, an end-of-camp recital, and it was themed A Carnival Tale. And so it was filled with musical, theater, dance performances, and so much more. And so basically at the end of the recital, a lot of parents and guardians, basically who attended, was like, y'all should start a children's troupe. Y'all should start a children's troupe. And Chavanice, being a fashion designer.
So I studied fashion at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles. I finished January
Last January.
Oh, yeah, we're in 2020.
Yes.
Finished last.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I always had a love for costumes, whether it's the adult costumes. So then I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity to do some costumes, but for children. Because if we are honest, children carnival, the production is not up to par as the adults. And we really need to set a standard for children to do that for the kids.
So that's basically how it was developed.
Yes.
That sounds so exciting. So can you tell us the mission of the organization?
Yes. Well, it's basically upholding our carnival legacy. And children are our future, but I feel that a lot of, even including myself when I was a child, I felt that I didn't really understand our culture. Yes, I know what carnival is. I would attend the street parade. I've participated in pageants, but I felt that not enough was being done for the children. Like adults have pageants, parades, soca, all sorts of different, everything. But when it comes to children, one day, children parade.
All right. Sorry, you were saying.
So, and also, for a children's carnival, well, for not just children's carnival, but for carnival on a whole, the only thing children do other than children's parade is come out to watch the adults.
Yeah, they need more participation.
Yeah, the only idea of carnival they have, just
Right.
watching the adults, and that is unfair, let's be honest. It's unfair.
So a part of bold carnival is it would extend beyond just the children parade. So we want to be the promoter for children. So we want to host different events related to children carnival. Children carnival, not meaning the parade, but
carnival for children.
So maybe a kiddies fest, maybe something for teens, like different things that they can attend and
be involved
feel
in.
like
Yes.
they feel involved.
Also, on top of that, we don't want it to just be fetes and events. We also want to teach them, so maybe some cultural events. Yes, maybe they camp, they learn about the masquerade, the history, or maybe they just participate in it, just have some lessons. So beyond just carnival on a whole, but diving into the history, culture.
I think that's amazing.
So how close are you to implementing some of these plans? I imagine some of them might have been implemented already.
Yes, so right now we're in the stage of developing our calendar for the year because we just don't want it to be in the December season. So we're planning as soon as April hits. So every other month we'll be hosting an event or an activity for the children, leading right down until hopefully if we have carnival in December.
We're speaking it into existence. Carnival, Sugar Mass 51. But that sounds amazing. I'm really, really impressed by even the thought. And now you're saying it, I'm saying, yes, children are really left out of carnival. You guys also produce 8 performances. We'll talk about some of the things that you guys do. You produce 8 performances by 4 of the artists for the past Soca Manas competition. That's a big deal. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
December, it was December, yeah, we were contacted by some artists to do some performances for Soca Manas. And for us...
So some, not one.
Some, not one. Some.
That's
many,
a lot.
So with us, we're all about creativity and trying to elevate performances, not just coming on the stage and singing your song. We know your song. Let's put it to the standard of maybe you performing for BET or Grammys. You know, give the audience a performance, give the judges a show. So that's really what we wanted to do for Soca Manas, trying to dive into a different side of performance other than just coming up and singing a song. Let's dive into the lyrics. How could we make it as realistic as possible? For example, for Soca Manas, we had Dejua, Hype, Mr. Hype, K.O., Nature O, well, Statics,
T-Bone.
and T-Bone.
That's 6.
And some of them had groovy and power.
So, for example, for Hype, for Marry You, we really wanted to give it that wedding scene, that realistic wedding gift. You know, Mr. Hype is a
theatrical person.
Yes,
so we really want to give it the whole theatrics. For Dejra, for Miss Defet, we thought about it as a therapy session, so that's the idea we went with, trying to give you the emotions of the song, of missing carnival, of being angry, just going through all the emotions. So
we know the feelings.
Yeah, you know, all the feelings. So that was really important for us for the performances.
You guys do a lot of
And
work.
we did choreography, styling, everything. We worked over 80 hours in just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's not being full time.
Wow.
All right, so
And doing carnival pieces as well.
As well, yeah.
wow.
I almost forget.
I was gonna ask who does what exactly, but you can.
So I do a lot of the production side, so more of the business aspects and the administrative, along with choreography. So all the dances and hiring dancers, finding who could do which part, the logistical part.
And I'm more of the creative side, the conceptualizing, the styling. So that's the A team.
Yes, the A team. So tell us about your launch. I mean, the whole event was brimming with creativity. I remember, I get a lot of my news from WhatsApp. So I remember sliding down my status and just seeing your pictures, and everyone was talking about it. I had so many clients talking about it. So can you tell us more about what your launch was like? To understand that there were some videos involved. It was a whole thing.
Right. So as Shavanice and I, we're all about the arts. I studied the arts both in dance and arts administration, and Shavi did fashion design. So we wanted to say, okay, how can we come back and find a way to contribute in a huge way? And so we wanted to find a way to expose the creative arts while launching Bold Carnival. So I was like, Shavi, if we do this series, we could find a way to integrate how to launch Bold Carnival. And so that's where we came up with the different elements of Carnival. And then we said, okay, for the fifth one, that's going to be the missing piece. And the missing piece is the forgotten tribe. But everybody won't know. Who is the forgotten tribe? You're seeing fetch, you're seeing folklore, you're seeing music, you're seeing pageantry, you're seeing all of that. But who is the forgotten tribe? And we were like, the children. That's the forgotten tribe.
So very, very kind of downplaying it. So
breaking into the
she before she came home, she called me while she was in Boston. She was like, Shabby, I want to do this thing in Canada. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. And then in September, we sat down, we went through it, and we did it in 2 days. The whole concept came about in 2 days.
Everything.
We just
Up
pitched
to the
it to like the
dancers,
parents,
everything,
our
production.
parents, and like friends, and they were like, okay, that's good. After that, the week after, full blown until December. Yeah.
All right, you guys, I don't know how you do it.
I don't.
But we're going to take a short commercial break, and stay tuned, everyone, because Bold Carnival will be here with us when we get back, showcasing one of the costumes that you designed for the launch. So, see. Oh, well, yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Good morning, SKN, when we come back, all right? That's what we know for sure.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me no in that. Big man no deal with back pamba.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and we're speaking with the founders, the creatives of Bold Carnival, who will now teach us how to sketch a children's costume. So we're becoming designers today.
Mm-hmm. So as we know, children, they're restricted to a lot of stuff as opposed to the adults. So I'm just going to give you a few elements. They could have a back piece, they could have a headpiece, but the bodysuit, it has to be very conservative.
So turtleneck?
Pushing it. It depends. So like if you have teens, you have a little more leeway. Not, we can't show all the stuffs. But if you have a little more leeway, so you could do either teens or primary. I give you that option. So Barry, give them the teens.
Right, and for the bodysuit, it won't be like a swimsuit where you're exposing the butt, but you could do like more of like a romper or one leg long.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's like a short pants.
Thank you. You're speaking my language.
That's like a short pants. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the theme, let's do something cultural. So Mimi, I'm going to give you the poinciana, and then Jamie, I'm going to give you the brown pelican.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So we know we can't use color because we're using pencil. So let's see how well you could structure it to look like those things.
This is pretty tight. So I was asking you guys offset, like, how is it to, be back home and actually see your baby coming to life? And what was the response like from, the viewing audience?
It was a little overwhelming because it's been in production for not a while, but like the whole of December until January. So we didn't really know. It's like, boy, we're gonna get to launch it. Would
it fall short? Like, for me, I had anxiety with it because I was like, is it to the standard that we wanted? And then when it came through, I was like, almost like wanting to cry. I was so happy that everyone loved it.
I shed like 3 tears.
3, you come to that?
3, yeah. But the response has been so good. Like, it's so great to see that people appreciate the art in the way that we do. And that they love the product that we put out. So that was really
time for some more resources to be put into it, though.
Look in the camera and say,
time for some more resources to be put into the
right. Just in case the right persons are watching.
Oh my gosh.
So how we get in through?
Well, I'm just thinking that you're going to shed another tear when you see this. this.
Michelangelo, Picasso.
Oh man, you're speaking my language. Yeah, awesome.
How you get into Mimi?
Struggling.
That's the reality. Honestly, that's the reality.
But I'm trying.
Oh my God.
What about a team? Did you guys work on it alone, or did you have other creatives?
Right.
I remember seeing a picture with a whole big bunch of you.
So, of course, Shabinita and I are the producers, creative directors, choreographers, and stylists. But in addition to that, we could not have done this without Capo, Nigel, True Capo, Lewis. Like, as soon as we spoke to him about it, he came right on board. I'm so happy that he saw the vision and he was like, yes, I'm definitely going to do this. So thank you so much, Capo. Thank you to the dancers. Thank you to Miss Martin. Thank you to Auntie Heidi. Thank you to Four Seasons Resort Nevis. Thank you to Michael's Burger.
Thank you to Massey. Thanks,
Massey,
Mommy, Daddy. And the good thing about it,
thank you to Zeta Chameleon for the streaming. Thank you to National Carnival Committee for allowing us to promote on their platform. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
we still finished?
We getting there. You can't watch art, you know that.
I mean, we need to go into production just now.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy's feeling his pain.
I hope I'm feeling it today.
Well, time will tell. If my reaction is any indication, time will tell.
We're almost there, man.
Wow.
Don't forget the what they have to wear. See a lot of focus on the back pieces.
I don't have any color crayons, otherwise you'd catch the vision.
I don't catch it, man. I just, you know.
So have you guys always been involved in the arts?
Yeah. Since you could say primary school.
I've been dancing since I'm 4.
And since I was 5.
Over 18 years.
Oh wow, yes. That's lots and lots of experience.
22, 21.
22.
Okay.
22.
The things we learn about each other during
live TV.
I should know that, honestly.
Oh man.
Give her a birthday was that?
You know.
Goodness. Wow.
We're almost there.
We are almost there. Yeah.
I don't know what else to add.
I just Jamie making some circles. I'm quite confused.
Yeah. Goodness to say here. All right. So.
You ready?
I am ready to display because
sure?
all I have created for you is the armor piece. So this is like, you know, you can add straps to it. I'll put them up here so you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
That's the front. Mimi, can I reveal?
You can.
Okay, there we go.
Right.
So we can, you know what? I'll give you a bottom piece even right now. Here we go.
All right.
We are, yeah. I like those sounds. Keep going. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. So this is supposed to be like armor. So they're throwing it over their front. You said I had to do the pelican, so I tried to come up with a pelican theme.
I see it.
So these are supposed to be the straps. I have 2 pelicans around. This is a remake of our flag, so to speak. So the colors would be in there.
Okay.
And we also have some water. You can add some petals if you want. All right. And that would be it.
What's this? The remake of the flag?
Yeah, a little like a crown, almost like carnival, so you're going to be crowned, but
Yeah.
you'll have the slash and you'd have the stars in and the colors of the flag right there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Going into production next week.
We're tweaking, but it's good. I
Just a
mean,
little
the pelicans look like ducks.
Yeah. Quack.
I see the vision. Good job.
I love it. I love that.
I see you.
So this is the flamboyant, the pointiana, and this is the what you might call it.
The thing in the point.
Yeah. We don't call it cock and hen.
Okay.
You know. If you know, you know. But this is the cock and hen being the headpiece, and it's very conservative. It's long sleeve, up to the neck, short pants. Our shoes, I mean, they should have looked more similar, and he's smiling, so that's the important.
Well, there you go. In our the next time we meet, maybe you guys can do a Project Runway type thing where we actually put this together and you decide, if we're good enough to make it. All right. So that being said, thank you so much for coming by and sharing all with us about Bold Carnival. We want to thank you. We had a lot of fun with you. All the best. All the best to you. More Good Morning SKN in a moment, and we'll continue this discussion. Yeah, when we come back. Well, after the break. Bye.
These teen boys nowadays.
This is Good Morning SKN with Mimi and Jamie on Studio 327.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, SKN. Ciao, bango!
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango.
You're watching Good Morning SKN.
TV shows, movies play a great role in our lives. One of our favorite pastimes in our childhood was watching cartoons. Well, today, as we loosen up, Jamie and I are going to reflect on our childhood, if we can remember, and share with you some of our favorite childhood TV shows and cartoons.
Okay. What was yours?
I have a lot. Like, I didn't get the time to think about, but I have quite a few. I heard you singing a theme song just now.
Was that one of yours?
Not necessarily.
Not really?
I used to watch it a lot though because it was
no idea what we're talking about, by the way.
Well, tell them.
All right, we're talking about the Smurfs. I was humming. Okay, if you know who Gargamel is, and you guys probably should, because the movie, yeah, but the cartoon is old, but there was a remake of that movie very recently, right?
But you wouldn't watch the remake if you didn't know the cartoon.
Not necessarily.
Did you watch the remake?
You see there? Exactly. You'll do that because it's happening with Cobra Kai as well, and the Karate Kid, right? Which is also one of my favorites. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch Cobra Kai.
Okay, what's yours?
There's a show on Netflix. I had lots of favorite cartoons. I think my favorite cartoons would have been the more modern cartoons like Teen Titans, Batman.
Batman was a modern cartoon?
Yeah, Batman transitioned into being a modern cartoon. Like if you remember Cartoon Network on Toonami, you would have watched.
Okay,
you'd have watched Batman. Like Adventure Time, which is a really modern cartoon. Kind of weird.
This is where we have the divide because you're like, when you say Cartoon Network, I'm like Disney Channel. You know, that
Cartoon
generation.
Network,
Right?
Toonami.
We had the Mouser Size and all the other things.
I like Sailor Moon. That's an old one.
Oh my gosh, Sailor Moon's not that old. No, You want to get old? Go to, and I'm not even going to go to.
I really like Sailor Moon though.
I know you like Sailor. I like the way she fights.
Okay.
I would go to He-Man and She-Ra. If any of you remember that, it used to be on USA Network.
Down them lines.
He-Man and She-Ra. Hey, we have no limits.
Okay, Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest is the old one.
I'll trade Johnny Quest for Johnny Bravo.
No way. Johnny Bravo and Johnny Quest are two different.
That's my point.
Two different ball games. But Johnny Quest was the old one that I really liked. It's actually really good.
Come on.
I should try to find an episode somewhere.
Who doesn't like muscular blonde guy? I was just talking about Smurfette, and Smurfette happened to be the blue girl with the blonde hair. You know, you said something really interesting, and we talked about Smurfette.
No, we won't talk about it.
Okay, that's not a made-for-TV conversation.
No, it's not.
All right, fair enough.
Not for morning TV. If they have a late night show, we can talk about it.
Smurfette at late night? No way. I don't know what we'll be talking about with Smurfette at late night.
But if you guys have a favorite cartoon, feel free to let us know in the comments. I mean, we're jogging your memories just a little bit. My memory is being jogged too. But just let us know in the comment what's your favorite or what cartoons you even. Oh, Scooby-Doo! How we could not say Scooby-Doo.
Fred Flintstone. Jetsons.
Oh, the Jetsons was a really good one. I admit the Jetsons was a really, really, really good one. All right. I still do want a robotic maid. I still do.
Rosie.
Yes, I still do want a Rosie of my own. But yeah, let us know what cartoons were your favorite. We're actually going to take a break before we bring in our next guest. So make sure that you stay tuned because you're watching Good Morning SKN.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
So, nurse, what now?
Let me explain. I'm going to put your feet in these 2-meter stands called stirrups. Your legs will be open. Then I will insert my fingers into your vagina and make a check. After that, I'll insert this. When that is inside of you and open up, I can see your cervix better. Then I will use these other devices to help me remove the cells from your cervix and check for the cancer and the HPV. Just relax. It will be over very soon.
Nurse, that wasn't so bad. I thought it would have been very painful.
I am glad your first experience was a good one.
So, when will I get the results?
The results usually return in 3 weeks. You have to come back here to the health center and I will explain. If there's anything abnormal, I will make a referral to your gynecologist.
Okay. Can I get the HPV vaccine my daughter got?
No, I'm sorry, you cannot. The World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization did a lot of research and found out after persons are sexually active, the vaccine doesn't work as well.
So what's the best way to prevent me from dying from this HPV?
Just what you did this morning. Early and yearly screening for the HPV virus and checking for changes in the cervix with the pap test.
How do they know they're not sick?
I know, it's really sad. In 2014, 1 in 4 women in St. Kitts and Nevis were tested positive for one high-risk type of HPV. And in the last 10 years, the number of women with cervical cancer has increased.
See what I mean? But it's good that you could get the pap test, the HPV vaccine, and the breast checks all at the same time.
Yes, share what you've learned with your family and friends. We in the Ministry of Health are encouraging women to come and have these tests done every year because cervical cancer can be effectively treated if detected and diagnosed early. So let's both do our part. It's time to end cervical cancer.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Tim Page said, quote, "A podcast is a great way to develop relationships with people hard to reach," end quote. The Island Archives podcast is set to launch today, January 31st, an audio series created to honor the Caribbean heroes and sheroes of the past and present and highlight their immeasurable contributions in different areas and disciplines. Their goal is to feature the achievements of these figures by retelling their stories in an interesting, engaging, and insightful way, blending humor, history, and highlights. Jabari Trotman, a representative of Island Archives podcast, let me say that again, a representative of Island Archives podcast is here with us to tell us all about it. Jabari, welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thanks. Good to be here.
And congratulations, today is the first day of your podcast. Is it going to be recorded for the first time or aired?
So aired for the first time. We did all the recording actually this month. So we started the development sometime late last year, had the discussions, and then did the scheduling, organized how we wanted it to look, sound, and feel. And then we put the pedal to the metal and put a lot of work in this week and this month rather. So yeah, it was a lot of work, but hopefully it's well received and gives out a lot of information.
Well, let's talk about that because an idea like this had to come from somewhere. So where did it come from?
Well, the original idea was something that came from an initiative that my co-host on another podcast that I do, Xavier Gray, had, where he wanted to put a picture on Instagram and a short write-up of a famous event, famous person of Black history, and give some information to, in a place that is not commonly used for that purpose, which is Instagram or social media. And then I took it a step further for the following year, or the following 2 years rather, where I would do a short write-up on a Caribbean figure and put a YouTube video and attach it to a Facebook post. The idea was that it would be short and brief enough and informative enough to be a screenshot to be shared. And then after we relaunched Off the Bench Radio last year, which is another podcast we do, we decided to do the Island Archives in order to further that idea. So that's how we came about.
Stuff.
I mean, it sounds great. So you mentioned short so that it could be a screenshot. And now I'm understanding that the podcast is supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes long. I mean, I love the idea, but how do you fit all of that content into 3 to 5 minutes?
I would say carefully. Carefully. We did a lot of research on each figure that was to be featured. Sometimes we read, 4-6 hours, then write the script.
Whoa.
And then the idea is to capture their life's work in a way that is engaging, informative, and makes you say, wow, I didn't know that, right? And that's a difficult task, but...
In 3 to 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. So it's supposed to be short, sweet, to the point, and have enough, choice morsels or information in there to make you go look it up and say, give you more information on the back end. So it's supposed to, tantalize you enough to entertain you for that short period of time, and then make you want to go and research.
On your own.
All right, well, speaking of tantalizing, you're here now. The podcast is yet to be launched. We want to get a sneak preview as to who some of the heroes or sheroes are that you're featuring. So what can you tell us?
Right, so for this week, we're starting today with Petition-born USVI Rays Livingstone Bramble. He was a WBA lightweight world champion boxer.
Wow.
Born in St. Kitts, raised in the VI. Then on Wednesday, we have the late, great Sidney Poitier, a Bahamian actor and civil activist. And on Friday, we end off the week with Nobel laureate, St. Lucian economist Arthur Lewis. So we have a powerful week to start out the gate. And
yes.
The whole month will be great. So we have like 15 episodes across 5 weeks or so. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this series is executively produced by Pelican Podcasts. What can you tell us more about this media group? I think I've heard the name somewhere before.
So Pelican Podcast is a subsidiary of Pelican Media Group. And it's a podcast network right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a bunch of different podcasts on there for all interest groups. We have On the Easel, which is hosted by Liska Bass, which talks about artists in different disciplines and areas.
We had it on here.
Right? And there's also Mango Meter Review, which talks about movies that just came out from like a Caribbean lens and how we interpret that. There's also Trending Searches, which talks about tech news and the latest in tech news at that time. So there's a lot of different content out there and a lot of different stuff for everybody.
All right, so where do we go to listen?
So a lot of places. We have a website, www.islandarchive.com. We're on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You could also check us out on pelicanpodcast.com. And we've partnered with WinFM to air all the podcasts at 10 a.m. Monday and Wednesday and 1:30 on Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll be on WinFM as well.
And you said there will be 15
episodes
for the month?
Yes.
So this is going to be continuing throughout the year?
Yes. I won't say we'll do 15 every single month.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is to do it by season. So this season 1, and then we'll have a later season, a season later on in the year. And then there'll be some content in between there to continue to whet people's appetite. So that's the plan for now.
Well, you've heard it from Jabari Trotman himself, all right? So good stuff, Jabari. Thank you for coming by.
Can't wait to hear the first one.
Yeah, you see me, you can't wait at all. You can't wait.
Appreciate it.
I think I've said that before. Anyway.
For niche.
All right, fair enough, yes. So we'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
So you mentioned something about a lump.
Babe, I just felt something on the left side of your breast. Tell me if you feel it.
Do you do your self-breast examinations monthly?
No, I don't.
Well, women are supposed to examine their breasts once monthly. Let me show you how. When at home, you can check while standing in the shower or while lying down. Simply place a pillow under your right shoulder and your right arm behind your head. Using your left hand, move the pads of your fingers around your right breast, gently covering the entire breast area and armpit. Use light, medium, and firm pressure. Squeeze the nipple and check for discharge and lumps. I did find a lump in the upper left breast. I am not sure what this means. Therefore, I need to refer you to the DMO, or you can see your private physician. The doctor is going to examine you and recommend an ultrasound or a mammogram. Listen, not every lump is cancer. 80 to 85% of the time, the lumps found are benign. That means they are non-cancerous. Lumps in the female breast or armpit can be non-cancerous tissue growth or fluid buildup, or a number of things that can present themselves at various times. But sometimes it's a sign of cancer. That is why I am referring you to see the doctor.
Okay, nurse. Thanks for your help.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. One people. We are roll up to roll out. Yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
morning. This is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Did you ever wish there was a place or organization where you could go to find out about all things happening in and around St. Kitts and Nevis? Well, somewhere else besides Good Morning SKN. Have you traveled or know someone who traveled and found themselves in a bit of trouble and needed some support for immigration, education, or health issues? Diaspora Connect is that organization. Earlier in today's program, we had the pleasure of hearing Dr. Stuart Williams, whose organization, the Sandy Point Benevolent Society, is a part of Diaspora Connect. Help us as we welcome President Herbert Walters and Vice President Valda Marislack joining us via Zoom all the way from Atlanta. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Oh, that energy
Nice
is so
to be
contagious.
here. We love the energy.
Absolutely.
So we noticed that connect is spelled with a K and an N rather than the traditional way of spelling it. Can you tell us about that?
So we wanted a play. It's actually a play on the word connect. Connect spelled K-O-N-E-K, and the K and the N are capitalized. So the K stands for St. Kitts and the N is Nevis. So we wanted to bring these the organizations in the US and touch them with the home base in St. Kitts and Nevis. So that's where we have like connect to push our philanthropic efforts out there.
And how long has Diaspora Connect been in existence? And where is it based? I know you are in Atlanta right now, but where is it based as well? Is it there?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. My name is Jean, and Diaspora Connect has been in the bellies of myself and Vala for about 2 years. We have been kind of marinating this thing because of the strong need that we see in the diaspora and also in St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's been in our bellies, like I said, for at least 2 years. But over the past year, we've officially registered it in the state of Maryland, where Valda is located. So I am located in Atlanta, Georgia, and Valda is located in Maryland.
Okay, can I call you Jean? African Princess Jean?
Yes, thank you.
So what was the driving force behind the implementation of such an organization? You said it's been bubbling in the bellies of both of you, but what was the reason?
So it all started during the pandemic, and everybody knows that the pandemic hit all of us in this world like a ton of bricks. And the St. Kitts and Nevis Nationals are no exception. And so during the pandemic, our nationals, including our students and persons that were vacationing in the United States, were calling for assistance because, of course, we all know what happened during the pandemic, right? And so the organization that I lead, the other organization, Ruth Library Foundation, took on the charge of helping the students and helping the nationals. And so what we did was that we rounded up all the support from the different organizations in the United States and pooled the funds. We garnered the support of about $45,000 US and sent them straight to these students. Now, the efforts to get all of that together was not easy. Basically, we were doing all of that while people were in crisis. And so we thought, okay, Bella and I thought, well, behind that backdrop, let's go ahead and see if we can create an organization that is going to have prepared or have in place a system where should there be a pandemic in the future, and one probably will come again, we would have a system in place to assist our nationals and to assist our students if needs be. And so that's where Diaspora Connect comes in, where we are engaging our diaspora organizations and individuals in the diaspora so that we can pool our resources and have a larger impact on our societies.
So I imagine your work, of course, with many different organizations would entail that you provide many different services depending on the needs. Is that accurate? So what can you tell us about the services that you've provided so far? I'm sorry, what can you tell us about the services that you've provided to date?
Hello, you're having some difficulty hearing Jeremy?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, you could hear us. So I'll ask the question that Jeremy was asking. He was asking about the specific services that you guys offer.
So right now we've launched our website also, because today's launch day for us. So our website has all of the different services that we have available, both to the individuals in the diaspora and at home in St. Kitts and Nevis, and also to the organizations that are up here that are needing assistance with their nonprofit work. So you can go to the website at www.diasporaconnect.org and see our services. And also, we are looking at engaging with specific organizations here so that we can start a project. Of course, we'll say more about that in the future, because we're seeing a need right now in St. Kitts and Nevis where our diaspora can help.
All right, thank you so much. We're actually going to take a brief commercial break, but you two are going to stick and stay with us. We'll be right back. You're watching Good Morning SKN.
Has anyone ever touched you here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We're talking with Jean Herbert Walters, President, and Valdemar Slack, Vice President of Diaspora Connect. So we're talking about some of the services that you guys offer. And I just wanted to know about some of the challenges that you guys would have faced. Again, you said it was launched during the pandemic. I mean, we're still kind of in the pandemic. And I could only imagine it was a little bit difficult. Can you tell us about some of the challenges?
Well, we're, as Jean was pointing out, we're a new organization just forming within the pandemic. So we have not really put our forces out there. We're at the stage now where we're engaging individuals and to tell them who we're about and what we're about. So some of the challenges that we're facing is just like to get our name out there. And as Jean said, we're so glad that we have this platform, and this is launch day for us. Yay! We had to push it back a little bit because of like others, some unforeseen circumstances. But here we are today, and we are looking forward to working with the different diaspora organizations and the organizations in St. Kitts and Nevis, because as we say, we're here to connect people. So our challenge would really be to really go out there and make a name for ourselves and start connecting people. We're looking at we have a lot of students coming up here, for colleges and stuff. So we're looking to connect them with different universities. We don't want to say too much, but we already in talks with one university up here, who want to partner with us in that aspect. We all being from another organization, myself, we always have a lot of people coming, to need help. So we want to provide not the only education part, but also provide health care, connect people with health care, health professionals, whatever instances that they may have. So, yeah.
And Mimi, the website, our website right now, just to piggyback on what Valda is saying, our website right now is going to play an integral role in connecting our people to the persons that could, or organizations that could help them. For example, on our website, someone can send in an application to be on a board of a nonprofit organization, and that is going to translate to one of the other organizations who are looking for board members, picking this person to be on their board. Another benefit could be, let's say, for example, somebody has an illness and wants to travel overseas to the United States, and they don't have the funding. Now, because of the fact that we, as diaspora organization, and there are over 20 of us up here in the United States, because of the fact that we were separate and apart, and we were not connected in that sense, people didn't know who wanted help, and people who needed help didn't know where to go. So now Diaspora Connect, through our website, is going to be able to connect these two forces, where someone can go on our website, sending an interest or sending a desire to get assistance from one of our groups, and then we in turn match them to who can help. Now, funding is going to be dependent on the organization. So we're not guaranteeing that they're going to get funding, but at least we'll be matching them to persons that could possibly help them.
And that's where Connect come in.
Yeah,
exactly.
It makes complete sense now.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I'm getting from you that there's no real membership fee per se. It's whoever needs help and goes to your site, they can benefit from that assistance once you're able to provide it.
Exactly. And we connect them with the different resources and personnel up here, all down in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, this is a fantastic initiative, I have to say.
Well, thank you, Jamie.
Yes,
we also have available Mimi and Jamie, sponsorship opportunities for businesses that are in the diaspora, that are Kittitian ran, St. Kitts Nevis ran, or Kittitian owned, where they can come to our website and indicate to us that they want to be a sponsor and be listed on our website, so that people in the diaspora can, when they come to the website, be able to view all the businesses that we have listed there that are St. Kitts Nevis national owned, and also patronize them. And now this is not only for businesses in the diaspora, this can also be for businesses in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Really
great
initiative,
hope, like
ladies.
when you click on the map, the address and the name of the business entity will just pop up.
Yes.
All right, so one more time, can you tell us the address that we need to go to, the web address where we can source all of this information?
It's diasporaconnect.org. So diaspora, diaspora, connect, KONEK.org.
As soon as I get off
And we're
work
also
today,
on
I'm going to check
Facebook
that.
and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram as well. I wish we had more time. Familiar face, of course, and Mrs. Morris Slack, my former teacher, of course, and the African Queen. I'm hearing, Miss Jean.
Thank you. And
So thank
Jamie,
you
Mimi,
Yes.
Mimi, I just want to say real quick, I want to thank Rudy Page for his assistance throughout this process, Avanel, and also Mr. Watley for their assistance throughout this project.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing with us. I know that they appreciate your mentioning them as well. Thanks to all who participated in this. Very good catching up with you. All the best on launch day moving forward. All right. So we're continuing with Good Morning SKN right now, and we have to say that this brings us to the end of the show. So viewers, we also love to hear from you. So if you have any events that are coming up, leave a comment and let us know all about it. Let us see if your event gets to be read during
What's happening
on Good Morning SKN.
So thank you for joining us today. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and even TikTok at Studio 327 INC. Like, subscribe, and follow us.
And leave us a comment and tell us what topics and guests you'd like to see next. So see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. when you get to start your morning with us. Bye-bye, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.